365 days ago, I looked like this. And now, this. Late 2024, like most people who started off skinny, or maybe you are a little bit different, you started off a little bit on the chubbier side. Lots of people just want to have that better physique after seeing crazy transformation videos, these crazy TikToks, and just extremely jacked people. At the end of 2024, I decided on January 1st, I was gonna stay completely locked in for 365 days. How much muscle can I really build if I just stay completely locked in, 100% natural? Can you really get that dream physique and without permanently damaging your health for the rest of your life? And also, just to give a baseline for this video, in January 2025, my squat was 225 pounds, my bench was 185 pounds, and my deadlift was like 255. These numbers throughout this challenge go up a crazy amount. As you can see, I was extremely skinny. In these pictures you see, I was around 150 pounds. I just don't really have an appetite, so just staying lean was super easy. I just could not build size. First like 6 months, honestly, I did not really have any idea what I was doing. It's honestly embarrassing looking back at these videos. It's extremely funny. Especially my posing. My posing was so insanely bad. I have no idea what I was thinking and how I could not just look at this and say how bad it was. It's a pretty big learning curve. But on February 20th, 2025, I hit everyone's dream PR when they first start working out, which was 225 bench, as you can see right here. This thing was a grinder. It went up so insanely slow. I've never in my life any PR has gone up this slow. I actually don't know how this is even possible. It kind of looks like my girlfriend touched the bar, but I can promise she did not. Those little milestones like are what kept me going through the challenge. And now we are approaching 90 days. As you can see, I hit a 245 pound bench press. There's a little bit snapshot of my physique. I was getting a little bit of size already. One of the main things for someone skinny, my main problem was eating, so I decided to just eat everything I could. I'll throw up maybe a couple pictures of my meals, how many calories I was eating. I was trying to aim for around 3,500 to 4,000 calories every single day. If you are skinny and trying to gain weight, you really need to just be consistent hitting that calorie number every single day. It is so easy to get like caught up in like work or you're busy, and then to just like eat a lot less calories, but just one day can really mess up your progress. You need to make sure you hit that calorie number every single day, and then you will see progress so fast. So right when I started hitting those calories every single day, around month 3, I really started putting on some size, and I really started getting a lot of strength on my bench press and squat. And as you can see, in April, so now we are approaching around 100 days, I was now repping 225. But yeah, around April I started repping 225, which I was extremely happy about. This obviously is just like a dream for someone like a skinny guy that wants to get into the gym. Just be able to rep 225. That's amazing. And as you can see, around April, I really definitely started putting on some size. I'm still extremely lean despite eating so many calories, just because of how skinny I was. If you're trying to lose weight, it's more about, it's the same thing, just consistently hitting the calorie deficit instead of the calorie surplus. So just follow along exactly the same, just cut the calories down, be consistent every day. You can't overeat. And also in April, another huge milestone is I hit a 315 squat, which another thing I was super happy about. Usually when you're like a beginner getting to the gym, your goals are like 225 bench, 315 squat, and maybe like 4 or 5 deadlift. At the very end of April, as you can see, I then deadlift 405. So this is right before May. My form is so insanely bad. It's actually embarrassing watching back this video. And in May is when I really started seeing the most progress, like around the summertime, like the next 3 months, May, June, July, I kind of just exploded in size. This is when I like started getting the hang of things. I was really consistent with my food. I started hitting like 200 grams of protein every single day. As you can see right here, I ended up hitting a 425 pound deadlift. Again, watch this, my form is really bad. I hate seeing this, but got it up anyway. It looked pretty easy, honestly. And then also I was repping 315 on the squat, which I was very happy with at the time. Here's a couple pictures. You can see I definitely started putting on size on the chest, my shoulders. Abs are coming in a little bit more. Just the physique is looking a little bit more full. And out of nowhere, as I'm saying, in May I just jumped my numbers. Out of nowhere I hit a 485 pound deadlift, 5-plate deadlift. Just out of nowhere. I remember when I went to the gym this day, I was making a TikTok. I want to see how much I could deadlift. even on this day, I was not expecting this at all. When I hit this, I was so happy, and was not expecting it like whatsoever. And as you can see, in June, I ended up getting 225 for 5 reps on free bar, which I was pretty happy with. This was a big milestone when I hit it in June, because just 6 months ago, my max was 185. So in 6 months, I went from 185 to 5 reps of 225. And I can see from these pictures, I definitely start filling out a little more, chest a little bigger. One of the main things I realized I struggled with is I was not hitting shoulders. So my shoulders definitely needed some work. As you can see, it's the end of June, 5 months ago, 225 squat. Just completely locked in. I am repping 365 easily. Now we have July. Here is when I start trying to go for those big PRs after 225. Here's me attempting a 275 pound bench press, and unfortunately I fail it. Around this time, I cannot tell you how many times I failed 275. I wanted to hit this so bad. And in August, I attempted to deadlift 515 pounds for the first time, and I failed it. Throughout this year, I failed lifts so much. I would just go into the gym, try to lift as heavy as possible, fail over and over and over until I would do it. I was so locked in this year. Here's a couple more posing practices. I definitely in August start looking a lot bigger. My back looks really full. And here I bench 405. Look at that. That's amazing. Just kidding. This was for a TikTok. It was a joke. Oh, sorry to disappoint you guys. You cannot bench 405 in 1 year. But even 245 is quite impressive. My bench was 185 only like 8 months before this. And in September, finally I hit the 275 pound bench, which was a dream of mine. In 9 months, 185 to 275, or 185 to 275. That's what you can do if you stay locked in the whole year. Another extremely impressive lift. September, I hit a lot of big milestones. Here is a 435 pound squat, I think. I ended up getting knee sleeves. My knees pretty hurt, but it felt good. I might have not hit depth, but anyway, September was a big month for my PRs. The very end of September, I ended up hitting a 455 pound squat. So I actually literally doubled my squat in 9 months. Completely natural, just because, well, one, newbie gains, I guess, and 100% dialed in. Another big PR hit at the end of September was 475 pound deadlift for 4 reps, which I was really happy with. These are pause reps too, which makes it a lot harder. I could have done this for like a lot more if I was doing just like the up and go quick reps. Also, another big PR is I did end up hitting 515 pound deadlift 1 month after I failed it. And as you can see, I just look a lot bigger overall, and I just slammed my face. And in October, I hit a 295 pound bench press, but I do have elbow sleeves, so it's not 100% counting, but I was definitely my strongest in this clip. After October, the very end of October, I went on an extremely hard cut. After bulking this entire like 9 months, I was just straight bulking, eating as much as I could. I got up to 198 pounds. So I started off at 155, ended off at 198, and went on an extremely hard cut. In just 2 months, I went from 198 to 168, so 30 pounds. I just cut really hard. And here are pictures. This is the most shredded I have ever been. On my bulk, I was getting 4,000 calories every single day. On my cut, I started going for 2,300. And then after like 2 weeks, I went to 2,000, and then I went to 1,800 at the very end when I was my leanest. And when you're on your cut, the number one thing you need to do, if you struggle with eating less, do not just try to starve yourself. Eat whatever you're comfortable with, that's healthy foods, that you're not overeating. And then instead of lowering your calories, unless you have to, just try to walk more. Walk on 10% incline, 3 miles an hour, just for like an hour every day, and you will get shredded. My legs were so instantly shredded during this time. Legs is always one of my favorite things. So more specifics, my split during this year, it started off as a bro split. The first 3 months, I had no idea what I was doing. I was kind of just going in and hitting whatever. And after around April, when I started kind of getting the hang of it and learning a little more, I started doing a push-pull leg split. And in December of 2025, at the end of the challenge, I'm 168 pounds, completely just peeled. Here's the most shred I've ever gotten. December, it's the end of the challenge. So I went from this physique, and I ended it off looking like this in just 1 year, completely natural. If you have any questions, I will reply in the comments. I can make a follow-up video talking more about the specifics of my dieting if that is something you guys would be interested in. And I gained 30 pounds and no, I gained like 40 pounds across a 9-month period, and then lost 30 pounds in the last 3 months. So I probably from beginning to end gained about 15 pounds of lean muscle. I probably could have held on more if I cut a little slow. I did go on a very quick cut. 30 pounds in about 3 months is a lot. My progress was, I'm extremely happy with my progress this year. It was a lot crazier and more than I could have ever expected. I'm really excited for next year. It's going to be even crazier. It's my first year lifting. I know a lot more than I did at the beginning. Very excited for next year. Subscribe to see how the progress continues. It's going to be 10 times crazier. And yeah.